Good
Yeah,
evening.
good evening. Yeah, good evening. I hope everyone is fine. So let's share some experiences here about recent 2020 prelims. You can just type your experience there. I think most of the students are your previous batch student. So what did you like? How was the exam and what difficulties you have faced in 2020 prelims? Yeah, take time to read. This, yes, many students have told this, Fazil. And if you remember, first thing when we took the demo last year also, first thing I told you was this, that time is the most important thing in very recent years. Okay, like if you see in 2017 or 18 or 19, time was very crucial. Okay, STP paper was too lengthy. One second, there are a few new students. Just let me guide them how to join. Okay, okay. So yes, those are certain things which most of the students like felt in the 2020 exam. And one few more things when we spoke to a few students, a few more things are like techniques are there. So in techniques also, yes, some the technique, but yes, some students like fail to apply in the right way. Okay, this was also one major issue. Okay, and other things like I told you some areas to focus. Okay, so in some areas to focus, definitely questions have been asked more or less from those areas to focus. And yes, if you are like, some students have said that they were like, for example, ancient India is there, you are reading a lot of books for ancient India, but like we asked you to focus only on very few important things from where generally questions are asked. Okay, so that is most important thing here. First focus on what exactly is being asked in UPSC. Like, you might think that syllabus of UPSC is something everything under the sun. Okay, I think this statement might have been made by most of the students. Okay, you might listen to this, like some seniors or saying that prelim syllabus is everything under the sun, but I don't believe in that statement. Okay, prelim syllabus is not everything under the sun. There is some particular pattern of asking questions in UPSC prelims. Okay, and also the statements they are asking, right, the statements also are more or less similar. Okay, the content of the statements or whatever content they are asking, that may differ. Okay, but overall the way they are asking, or from the areas from where they are asking, more or less remains same. Okay, so I'll show you examples. Okay, there are a lot of examples for this. So if you see the examples, you'll understand. Okay, so first we'll see why this program. Okay, why this program is first thing, most important thing. So there are, I told you, right, there are some specific areas, okay, from where generally questions are asked. So you have to focus on these specific areas. uh, it could be in history, okay, it could be polity, or it could be economics, or it could be geography, okay, or it could be environment, or it could be science and tech. Okay, so all these areas, if you see, there are some particular or specific questions asked. Okay, so first thing, every student, if you are planning to clear it in the first attempt, most important thing will be to focus on these areas and revision. You have to do a lot of revision of these areas. Okay, then only if you have time you will move for other areas. Okay, that is the most important point you have to know. Next, if you see, do not burden yourself with unnecessary content available in the market. Okay, because see, last time also, yes, a few students were asking this, but mostly we were associated only for 10 days or 15 days, and in areas to focus class also already I've given you certain areas, but still you might have read a lot of things by that time. Okay, but what the focus has to be is that less content, read less content, revise it more times. Okay, that content also, yes, there are some specific and focused areas which you have to see. Okay, and then most important is even this point, learn and refine. Okay, last time what happened, yes, with few students you have learned this one, but you did not practice much. Okay, if you do not practice, what will happen, suddenly you go to the exam, you have something in the mind, but you will be unable to exactly implement those things in the exam if you don't practice. Okay, it applies to any aspect, it applies to any aspect. Just by learning it is difficult, you have to practice, then only apply in the exam. Okay, so now what you will do in this program, what you will do, you will not only learn the technique, but you'll also refine it. Okay, because every week there will be 15 questions on techniques, and I will be discussing those questions as well. Okay, so 2 weeks there will be one discussion, 30 questions will be there total, 30 questions I will be discussing. Okay, and how will these questions be and all, I'll give you certain examples, okay, later on. Okay, so this will be also a very important aspect. So every week you will have questions from areas to focus, I'll be asking questions, and from same areas I'll use elimination techniques and ask some questions, and then we'll also ask other 20 to 50 questions from very important sources from where generally questions are asked. If you remember, I clearly told you, always read very important schemes. Okay, but you see, last time students were reading some 600 to 700 schemes which are generally not asked. Okay, but I told you most important schemes are generally asked in the exam. If you see in 2020 also, same pattern was applied, like MPLAT's scheme was asked, if you remember. Okay, so important scheme, same thing, they ask the same scheme, rather that small schemes which you generally read in whatever compilations market is giving, all those schemes are generally not asked. You see, or any paper you see, they ask Digital India, okay, or PMKSY, okay, that skill scheme. So very important schemes, okay, National Nutrition Mission. So very important schemes are generally asked in the exam. Okay, so we'll also focus on those things. And I also told you, like, UGC net, why these questions are important, because these are university questions, and more or less even university professors are who generally suggest prelims questions. Okay, so already they have suggested certain questions in UGC net, so possibility is there that some questions from UGC net may be asked in the exam. Okay, I'll give you examples also how this UGC net questions have come in 18, 19 and 20. Okay, and other things, yes, ministries, international organizations, websites, like UNEP, a lot of questions have been directly asked from UNEP. If you open just UNEP page, I think last time also I showed you the page question and all, if you remember, those questions can be asked. And our annual reports also, import, export, those type of questions generally are asked from annual reports. So all this we will follow, okay, in giving you those questions every week. Okay, so 20 questions will come from focus areas, then 15 questions you'll learn, technical questions will be there, and 15 questions from sources we will ask you. Okay, so this program basically as every week there will be 50 questions. Okay, and this pattern will be followed for each week. Okay, each week questions will be in this format. So why techniques are important? Yeah, old students already know about this. So just if some new students have joined this demo class, so we'll just discuss why a few questions. Okay, so that they will also understand the importance of these things. So extreme statements, if you see here, same thing, you can easily find out these vaccines have no side effects and cause no allergic reactions. So completely extreme statement. Already we have seen a lot of UPSC questions or statements which are designed in this way. Okay, so definitely this statement will be wrong. And if you see here also there is no human habitation inside the park. Again, this is also wrong. Okay. And then 2018 will come to numericals. Numericals, I told you some standalone numericals are generally wrong. Okay. Yes, in 2020 also there are 5 numericals. Okay. In that 2 numericals you will go wrong. Don't worry about that. I told you already before this thing that there is a lot of scope to go wrong. Okay, but 3 numerical questions definitely you will be able to do in 2020 as well. So 3 means 6 marks. Okay, so in 2, if you are going wrong, don't worry. Okay, 2 means how much? Negative marks 0.66 plus 0.6, at the max 1.2, but you are gaining 6 marks. Okay, so overall you are net positive. How much? 4 marks. Okay, so even if you blindly follow the technique, you are in net positive of 4 marks. Okay, so that in that way techniques will help you a lot. So here also some standalone 1600 numericals will be wrong. Similarly 2018, if you see here, 140 kilometers a standalone numerical, this is also wrong. Now I will tell you how 2020 question is asked. If you see here, same, they have just followed the same pattern, saying barren islands about 148 kilometers, and here also if you see measured up to depth of which is 129 meters and all, again some very standard numerical is there. Okay, so the pattern of the statement, see, the pattern of the statement will be similar. Okay, so remember that. And definitely in 20 to 21 also I'm telling you there will be some questions like this. And if you practice every week in this way, we'll also give you same type of statements. Okay, I will not give you my own this thing. Okay, we'll definitely follow the exact pattern followed by UPSC, like these questions only. Okay, why? Because this is a 2020 question and pattern followed was previous year question only. Okay, so my suggestion, I told you, if you remember last time also, always my suggestion was practice previous year questions. Okay, so here also if you see 2019 mandatory keyword is wrong. Okay, and 2020 also I told you generally they come such type of questions generally they are asked in 2020 also. And here also if you see mandatory and mandatory, and if you remember revision class, definitely one mandatory will be wrong. If 2 mandatory are wrong, here there is no scope. Okay, you can't, 3 and 4 if you remove, you don't have any option. Okay, so definitely one mandatory is wrong, and you have to decide which mandatory, because you already know other is for government schemes. So consolidated fund means government schemes are there, so possibility of this statement to be wrong is less. Okay, insurance, there are private also, so possibility of this statement to be wrong is high. Okay, one more thing here also, if you see cannot and 3 months. Okay, this is an extreme word. You will learn all these things, don't worry. I'll teach you these things. Okay, so what are these words and all. So here also 3 months. Okay, so 3 months also a standalone numerical, so possibility of being wrong is high. Okay, so these things you'll slowly learn. What are the extreme words, like how to eliminate certain words, or if there are two statements, what you have to do. All these examples we will practice by questions. See, rather than explaining one thing, what we have got like feedback and all when we took from the students, most important thing what I felt was practice. Okay, so what are most of the students what I have done, they did not apply techniques actually, because they feared that will they be applicable in 2020 or not. One example I'll tell you, simple thing. When I clearly told you like steadily increased or this consistently for a decade and all is clearly wrong. Okay, but few students did not like eliminate that statements. Okay, but because it is right or wrong. But I told you that pattern is being followed by UPSC from years. Definitely they will follow in 2020 as well. So similar thing they followed in 2020. Okay, so same kind of questions. Always remember statements. The way of asking will not change. Okay, remember that. And one more thing I told you, 0 to 100, if you remember, always see if the statements where it lies. Either it lies in 0 or 100, these two are extremes. Okay, so if you see the statement, in the case of all cereals, pulses, oils, again here all is kind of 100%. MSP is unlimited, again 100%. Okay, 100%. If you remember, I told you whenever a statement talks about like 100% and all, high probability that in UPSC it is wrong. Okay, so this statement is wrong. And here also, if you see, will never rise to a level which market price will never rise. Never rise means zero. Okay, I told you whenever statement talks about zero also, high possibility that that statement is wrong. Okay, so extreme statement, these are called extreme statement. This also will exactly practice in this way. Okay, whatever questions we give, I'll make sure that that statements has to be in this format. Okay, all previous year question format only the statements will be. Okay, and if you remember 2015 question, NPS question, fuel cells question, fuel cell was there. Fuel cells can be used for powering buildings and not for small devices. If you remember, I discussed this question. Okay, if new students are there, I'll also discuss with you these questions. Okay, so not for small devices like laptop. So what is this called? This is called application restriction. Okay, here there is some restriction of the statement, not for small devices. These type of application restriction statements are wrong in the exam. If you remember, I clearly told you in the class. Okay, not only 2015, there will be one more biogas gasification question. There also application restriction will be there. Okay, if you remember biogas gasification, the statement is it can be used for diesel generators, but not for IC engines. Okay, again here also same thing, power buildings but not for small devices. What happened in 2020? So what happened in 2020? Clearly you can see in what happened in 2020, small power can be, solar power can be used for running surface and not for submersibles. Again, this is called application restriction. Okay, so definitely this statement is wrong. Again here also same, centrifugal pumps and not ones with piston. Again application restriction. So application restriction statements are generally wrong in the exam. Clearly I told you 2020 also this question was asked. So definitely this statement is wrong. Okay. And then if you remember numerical and extreme words, definitely two numericals are there. One definitely either two or at least one though definitely is wrong. Okay, which we have discussed. So here which numerical you will eliminate? Because two and three you can't eliminate here. Okay, there is no scope. For 1 second. Okay, so 2 and 3 you can't eliminate, but here I told you 40 years only. Okay, 40 is this one numerical and only is our extreme statement. Okay, so possibility of in these two, this statement high possibility is this statement will be wrong. Why? Simple thing, you remember 2017 question, NPS question, which was also discussed, like 21 and 51 55 only. I told you this numerical and only is there, high possibility that this statement will be wrong. Okay, so in this way what will happen, whatever questions we are giving you, we will definitely follow this format. Okay, remember, because already I discussed all these questions, and we also tried to give you such type of statements. Okay, whenever I give you application type of question, I will also do the same thing. I'll restrict something. Okay, why? Because see, the exam pattern, if you see, is same. Okay, in 2020 also it did not change much. Okay, and same thing, one thing I clearly told you, SNT questions, SNT application questions. One second. Okay, so if you see application questions, more or less will be all answer. Okay, so there is no restriction here. Normal application questions, generally science and tech application questions are all here. Also carbon application question, again answer all. Okay, 2020 same thing, and 2019 also it has been followed. Okay, satellite question, application question, again answer all. Similarly in 2018, if you can check, so you can clearly see. Okay, in 2018 or 2017 or 2016 also, application type of questions are generally right. Okay, all questions will be there. And random deduction, I told you, random deduction, we'll practice. We have practiced also random deduction last time. Okay, so if you remember 2019 random deduction stratosphere. Okay, so stratosphere, one second. Yeah, I think some students are. Okay, so I think you remember this one, stratosphere. I clearly told you, even this statement, artificial rains are generally troposphere, or tropical cyclones are also troposphere, and here solar wind is basically ionosphere, and so definitely answer will be global warming. In that way, definitely even this also could have been done. Okay, public infrastructure, they say, yeah, generally all these are public infrastructure, but key, when you are saying, you may have doubt that even food security is also key, or health security. So definitely all these three can be key, but what is unique aspect? Okay, key, I told you, always write synonyms of whatever word, important word is there. So key, there will be, if you write synonyms, that could also come under this aspect, digital security. Okay, because cyber keys, you might have, the word key has been mostly used for this cyber aspect. Okay, so in that way also, if you do some random deduction, this question could have been actually done in the exam. Okay, because it is not direct, because if you just see the synonym, yes, it will match with all these things, but if you just see other synonyms also, it is mostly matching with digital security. Okay, so these type of questions also we'll try to practice, and I'll also discuss these type of questions. So steadily increased, one thing I told you, steadily increased. Okay, steadily increased, 2020 question, if you see 1991, clearly this statement is wrong. Okay, okay, so one second here, one second. Okay, fine. So again, this statement, if you see, steadily decreased or increased, I told you these statements will generally be wrong in the exam. Okay, and 2020 here also there is consistently increase in last decade. I told you focus on here. Okay, last decade something again consistently or steadily increasing will be bit difficult. Yes, Rishabh. See, synonym that slowly will practice, Rishabh. Okay, we'll see certain previous year questions, and when we'll see what synonyms all can be there, and because the key synonym is there, right? Okay, it is matching with other aspect as, because even health also is important. Okay, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो health important नहीं है, but वही देखना कि और कुछ है क्या उसमें. ओके तो अदर सिनोनिम्स विल स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट ओके की कहाँ कहाँ यूज किया जाता है ओके सो वहां दो मैच होना चाहिए तो एक तो की साइबर सिक्योरिटी से भी मैच मींस सिक्योरिटी से मैच हो रहा है बट साइबर वो डिजिटल सिक्योरिटी से ज्यादा मैच हो रहा है बिकॉज अदर थिंग्स आर आल्सो क्लियरली मैचिंग okay but then definitely you can't go for either health because health is also important food security is also important okay but as such yeah keys और ज्यादा जो synonyms है वो डिजिटल सिक्योरिटी से मैच हो रहा है सिंपल थिंग so here also I told you the same 2020 question steadily something again steadily increasing or decreasing for last decade and all I told you more or less could be wrong statements and if you remember 2018 question same thing they've asked capital infusion steadily increased okay this statement is wrong and 2019 if you remember sugarcane cultivation steadily decreased wrong okay so in that way you will learn lot of things okay and we will try to make sure that whatever question we are giving it will be based on previous year question okay remember that okay whatever question because I don't want to give some just a question or something just for sake of asking okay because in that way you will find lot of questions in the market okay but what you have to focus is are you practicing the questions which are similar to previous year questions or not that is most because your mindset should be the same and you are going you want to clear prelims that too UPSC prelims okay because and all focus has to be like how UPSC generally asks questions okay or the areas which generally UPSC CSC questions are there okay and if you see here why areas to focus okay the schedule if you have already seen it is in the group okay anyways I'll also discuss the schedule so there are certain areas to focus on each day you will be preparing certain areas to focus okay for example political organizations there social organizations are there so you might have you can just check previous year questions you'll understand why I'm focusing on charter act okay why I'm focusing on social organization because more or less every time if you see previous year questions uh, Charter Act 1919, 1909, yeah, 1935. Definitely, questions have been asked a lot of times from these topics. Or political organizations, or social organizations, okay, or education chapter. If you remember, I told you education chapter is most important. And last time also they asked, and 2020 also education chapter, one question was asked. Okay, and revolts also I told you definitely can be asked. So these are the 2020 questions. If you see Ashoka, Buddhism, Gupta, books or generals, education, economic impact, tribal revolt or indigo revolt, these questions have been asked. And if you remember like previous year pattern also I told you generally what is the focus of the examiner, like Ashoka definitely question will come, or Indus Valley Sea more or less they ask definitely Indus Valley civilization question as well. And then if you see Bodhisattva, Buddha, those type of question definitely every year it is there okay. And if you see here again Stanakwasi same Jainism or Buddhism, again Ashoka question asked, again that Bodhisattva question has been asked okay. Now what will happen, I told the students same thing okay, Ashoka question will come or Bodhisattva type of Buddhism or Jainism question will come. And if you are going to 2020 exam okay, same thing, if you don't know the answer also what happened, yes few students what they did they directly answered Ashoka. Why? Because that is a focus area and Ashoka question has to come in the exam. You just see previous year questions you will understand, yes few students directly even if they don't know they answered Ashoka and the answer is Ashoka here okay. Similarly I told why, that is the reason why areas to focus is important okay. Same thing here also, they went to the exam paramitas, some students read that, some students did not read. I told you clearly read Nitin Singhania okay, no other book directly this question you will find in Nitin Singhania okay, paramitas. But still okay, even if you did not read I told you Bodhisattva whatever questions are coming generally are very important and some students directly answered this one without any knowledge and answer is right okay. Why? Again areas to focus. And why do you think questions are asked like this? Simple thing I'll tell you, the examiners who are preparing your questions definitely 100 200% they will refer to previous year questions okay. Blindly no examiner will set a paper, simple thing okay. This is human this thing, definitely they have to refer to your previous year questions and that is the reason you see these type of questions in the exam. So if you know the examiner mindset, what questions are being asked, what statements are being asked, how the statements are being framed, so all this knowledge what will happen, will improve your marks. Okay, why we are explaining all these things is because, see, blindly, one second, blindly you can't just rely on content and go to the exam. Content, same thing. If you ask anyone, I told you, right, they'll say what is the content for your UPSC prelims? Everything under the sun. Okay, if you start reading everything under the sun, uh, clearing prelims will be a bit difficult. So understand what is this exam, understand the demand of the exam, what topics are being asked, and how the statements are created. All this knowledge you should have before going to the exam, so that at least in the 2 hours, okay, you will be very effective in answering the questions. Okay, so other thing I told you, yes, modern history, same thing. These are some focus areas. If you just open like, or if you have taken the screenshot also, I told you the education is clearly there. Okay, and directly question has been asked from this one. Okay, if you remember, see, just open spectrum book and education chapter will be there. This question can be easily done from the thing. Okay. And same thing here, some areas to focus like macroeconomics. I told you, definitely very important book, and a few questions can be addressed. And I told you agriculture also a very important topic. And if you remember, I have given few questions on kharif crops and rabi crops. Similarly, in 2020 also you will find similar kharif and rabi crops. And in focus areas, always I told you, sugarcane, pulses, cotton. These are some few or 3-4 crops are there which are very important for the exam, because more or less sugarcane question has been asked a lot of times in the exam. So we'll also, what we'll do in areas to focus sugarcane, already I think if you see the schedule, one day is allotted only for sugarcane, cotton, and this thing. So that content only you will read on that day. Okay. And also same important schemes I told you, again, MPLAD, Kisan credit card, very important schemes only are asked. And what are students doing? Students are reading those 600 to 700 schemes which are given by the market. Okay, how much time you are wasting on this, and what is the cost benefit analysis, you have to check. Okay, but more or less if you see, very important schemes are only asked. Okay, and then I told you RBI website, that important terminology and all. From there, if you see call money, commercial paper, those questions are asked. And economic survey. Okay, economic survey, 1 week has been allotted for both budget and economic survey. Okay, for example, yes, same 2020 questions, gold tranche, all these questions are asked from the 12th class microeconomics. Okay. Next, we'll see some areas to focus in geography. If you remember, I told you Himalayas or Western Ghats questions generally come. So this Siachen aspect from Himalayas they have asked, and Western Ghats, if you remember, this Kaveri Basin question is there, right? Tiger reserves. So it comes under both tiger reserves and this one. Okay, tiger reserves have included in environment. Okay, so climate and crops, again the cotton question was there. Minerals, I told you, definitely one mineral question will be there. Okay, in current affairs also I covered minor minerals, and the question they asked is major minerals. Okay, so in minor minerals, that bentonite, this thing I covered, and that was the first option in your paper. Okay, why? Because at that time some document was released about minor minerals, so we were expecting that some major minerals question will come. Okay, and also minerals is an important topic for UPSC. And I told you Caspian and Southeast Asia, they will not leave. Definitely they'll ask some question about Caspian or Southeast Asia. If you remember, they asked match the following. Okay, Volga Sea and this Mekong. Okay, and fundamentals of physical geography, 1 or 2 questions will definitely be there. Okay, in mains also this pattern will be followed. Okay, and mains also, if you see, this book is very important. Yeah, bentonite. Okay, this is 2020 question. And then environment, if you see, I asked you to read, focus on these acts and policies. Okay, in 2020, this has been asked, WPA, EPA, and biofuel policy. Okay, and we'll also make sure that we ask questions on these aspects, acts and amendments and policies. Okay, and threat to environment, I told you, very important topic for UPSC, threat to environment. And if you remember, again in 2020 also they asked benzene pollution. Okay, and clean technology, one question will be there. This time they asked solar. And tiger reserves, I asked to, like, many students were actually focusing on those 740 or 750 national parks and all. I clearly told you tiger reserve. Tiger reserve, if you spend more time on tiger reserve, you will get more marks. Simple thing. Okay. And if you remember, critical habitat, one tiger reserve, that question was critical habitat area wise they asked. And Kanna tiger reserve, Barasinga they asked, and Kaveri basin passing through. What are the tiger reserves? Okay. Simple thing. I asked you to clearly draw a map. okay, and mark everything. And if you see these two questions, you can easily address by drawing a map. And this one, any government table, if you see, okay, any website, if you go and see tiger reserve government table, critical habitat separate table is also there. Okay, so more time on areas to focus. Okay, more time on areas to focus is very important. What is happening with the students? They are focusing more on 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So tiger reserves. So more focus has, because see, that is the reason I tell you why you have to focus more on areas to focus. Okay. So areas to focus, if you do this, at least 1 or 2 marks more you will gain, rather than if you are focusing more on other things. Okay. So why? Because we have observed that every year definitely question has to be asked from this topic. Okay, and all animals in previous year questions, if you remember, I told you do all the animals. And if you see musk deer, okay, it is a previous year already asked question. Okay, and again asked in 2020. Okay, elephant, yes, even if you don't know that question, by techniques you can easily do that, 22 and 40 years only. Okay, and current affairs, if someone has attended, if you remember, we I told you that one question will come from state of birds report 2020. So always when there is a report released of environment, possibility is very high that question will be asked from that report. And even if you don't know anything, directly you have to go with birds, because in that year that is the focus area. Okay, so why? If you remember Indian forest report, when it was released in 2019, the percentage of forest area question was there. Okay, that is the reason we are like, even this time also we will try to focus on whatever important reports have been released or these type of things. Okay, and adaptation questions, mitigation questions also will be asking, because this is also one important focus area asked by UPSC. And then yes, international organizations, definitely they'll ask you. Okay, last time we focused on G7 and this financial action task force, these type of questions we have focused. Okay, so definitely we'll also see WTO, G20, all international organization questions also we'll try to ask. And polity, I will not be discussing much about polity, because simple thing, Lakshmikant. Okay, this year you could have done a lot of questions right in polity if you have revised this book, Lakshmikant. Okay, simple thing. Always I told you, this is called God book. Okay, if you want to clear prelims, this you have to by heart. Simple thing. Okay, so without Lakshmikant, this exam cannot be cleared here. Okay, just remember this one. Okay, this statement is for new students. Okay, who are just started preparation. Okay, I think other students clearly know the importance of this book. Okay. And then I told you science and tech. If you remember latest technologies, definitely they'll ask you latest technologies. And same thing, just type latest technologies. Okay. See, augmented reality, virtual reality, if you see 2019 question is there. Okay. And again, your 2020 question, if you remember blockchain, okay, blockchain question is there. Again, artificial intelligence. Okay. Artificial intelligence question also asked. Last year, like 2020 also, I showed this last year when we discussed, I showed the same site. Okay. And here, if you see directly two questions again asked in 2020. Okay, in 2019, virtual reality, augmented reality, if you remember, that question was asked. So more or less, I told you areas to focus, same thing. Again, latest technologies will definitely be asked in 2021 also. Okay, so we will try to cover whatever important latest technologies are there. Okay, and I told you one more thing, one question on diseases will be there. If you remember, one question definitely, like Zika, when Zika was there, Zika they asked, we were expecting Corona, and Ebola also they asked. Okay, and if you remember 2019 hepatitis B vaccine question was asked. And why do you think pneumococcal conjugate vaccine was asked? Okay, simple thing, examiner is referring to your previous year question. Remember this. Okay, if you 2019 exam will refer, in 2019 clearly hepatitis B vaccine was asked, and again 2020 what will examiner do, he'll look for other what are vaccines are there. Okay, corona virus vaccine तो नहीं आया अब तब तक. Okay, तो एक vaccine क्वेश्चन पूछना है, तो you see pneumococcal conjugate vaccine they have asked. Okay, so always most important is how our previous year questions are asked and what areas the questions are asked. If you practice thinking in this way, definitely prelims you can easily clear. Okay, and see artificial intelligence, simple thing I told you, application questions, these are called application questions, and do not overthink at all. Okay, in this question also some students have overthink saying that text to speech how it is possible or how are songs possible. It is AI movies we have watched there. AI is like in movies you can clearly see AI is controlling the whole universe itself in some movies. Okay, then how can it not do this simple stories and songs thing? Okay, anyways, even don't apply much of this thing. I told you application question is coming broad minded. Okay, so answer will be all. Same thing, technology they asked. Okay, and yeah, here also I want to discuss one statement here. Yes, here, without anybody's permission, if this was with somebody with permission, definitely what will happen, this is called application restriction. Okay, with permission will become restriction. Okay, but without it is not restriction, then why do you want to eliminate this statement? Okay, I clearly told you, if they are restricting the application, then definitely yes, that statement will be wrong. But here they are not restricting the statement. Now they are clearly saying without anybody's permission also it is possible. But if the word with it is there, then definitely this will become application restriction. Restriction is permission. Okay, but clearly they are saying without permission, so possibility of the statement is there. So that is what we will do. This time you will practice these type of statements as well, so that in the exam it will not be a new thing for you. Okay, and then coming to UGC questions, I told you UGC questions directly will be asked in the exam. Okay, if you remember, if you just open the test 5, this question will be there, constitutional government. Okay, I asked what is constitutional government, limited government. I have taken that question directly from UGC question itself, UGC papers. Okay, so this limited government question or this great tumult question, UGC net, or this Kulyavapa or Dronavapa question in 2020. This is also a 2020 question. This is also a 2020 question. All these 3 questions are there in your UGC questions. Okay, so now tell me, is it better to practice these type of questions? Okay, why? Because these are university questions. Okay, so possibility if you practice these some 3,000 questions, even if you are getting 3 questions also, I'm telling you, it will help immensely help you. But what is happening, you are practicing some 150 test papers. Okay, and I'm telling you, one or two questions are coming, or even those questions are also not coming from test series sometimes. Okay, but yes, for revision if you are doing it, no issue at all. Okay, if you are practicing some 35 test papers for revision, okay, no issue at all. But don't blindly do the 200 copies, 200 tests. If your friend is doing 150 tests, you are doing some 200 tests, so that doesn't make sense here. Okay, for revision if you are practicing something, then that is good. Okay, so in 2019 they directly asked Banitani, this is a UGC question. Okay, UGC culture question, and this one Bodhisattva Padmapani Ajanta, this is also UGC question. Okay, so in this way UGC questions are also asked in your exam. Okay, so we will also try to cover these UGC questions. Okay, so I told you, right, there will be some 20 questions from whatever focus area is there, and 15 questions will be techniques. Okay, and some 15 questions will be from these type of sources. Okay, for example, see here again I will discuss the program details. One second, just let me open the schedule. Okay, I hope everyone is able to see the schedule. So in the schedule, if you see here, same thing, we have arranged the whole portion to 100 days. Okay, so in 100 days means 5 days a week. Okay, and Saturday, Sunday, there is like Saturday you have to read current affairs, and Sunday there will be test. Okay, and areas to focus, if you see, a particular area has been given. Okay, and if you see other whatever test series you are writing, they may directly mention a lot of things. Okay, so you may have bit confusion, but here clearly we'll focus on very important things only. Okay, which are generally repeatedly asked in the exam. Okay, so in that way every topic we have covered. Okay, and designed such that in 100 days you can complete the topics. After 100 days, what will happen, next 2 weeks you will revise those things. Okay, so till 100 days 20 tests are there. This will be 50 questions will be there. Okay, and exact same format we will follow. And then you will revise. Week 1 means the first week which you are starting, like November 30. Okay, so week 1 you will revise, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. And then if you see here, current affairs of June, July, August you will revise, and this test 21 will be actually full length test. Okay, so this test 21 will be full length test. In the similar way you will revise again till here 24th test. Okay, and then after 24th test again you will revise 1 2 3 4 5 6 in that way. So at least twice, twice you will revise all these important topics. Okay, and also current affairs. So total there will be 26 tests. These 6 tests will be full length test here. Okay, though you are revising certain topic, but the exam will be full length. Okay, so by May 30 everything will be finished. Okay, you will have other 26 days to prepare. Okay, and we will be available for you. And I told you every 2 weeks I will take a discussion, and we will complete those 30 questions which I ask on techniques, right? I will clearly explain them. Okay, so that you will slowly learn the way to apply. Okay, and as I showed you a lot of questions of previous year questions, in the same way we will try to design the questions. Okay, and once again I'll tell you here. So 100 days 26 tests, and here if you see 50 questions, how they'll be asked. 20 questions will be on areas to focus which are there, and 15 questions if you see same area but elimination questions will be there, and 15 questions same area but from UPSC sources such as UGC and other websites and these type of sources. Okay, and test will be conducted weekly on Sunday on online platform. Okay, you will be given access, and batch starts from 30th November. Your first test will be on December 6th. Okay, so for students who have joined late, okay, just I will discuss once again. Okay, just the program details I can discuss. So why this program? Once again, I'll discuss same thing. Most important thing, yes, most of the students what they felt is they read a lot, okay, and they revise less. So that is the one major issue. Output will, okay. So for that, what we'll do? We'll focus on very important areas which are definitely asked more or less each year. So those areas only we will focus, and we'll practice a lot of questions from those areas. Okay, and so in this way what will happen, whatever you revise less content, but you will revise more times. Okay, and don't burden yourself with unnecessary content available in the market. See, my our most focus is this one here, because what we feel is uh, most of the students, yes, they think that prelims is a very huge task. Okay, but I'll tell you, it is not that huge task if you properly plan it and if you know how to read, okay, and what to read. Okay, so definitely you will be able to do and focus on very, very important areas which are asked every time. Other than this, yes, this is half thing, but this is also a very, very important thing to clear the exam. You might have already seen, I explained all the things, okay, why a particular statement is asked in this, in that way. If you know previous year questions, you will understand exactly the statements are asked in the same way how they are asked in the previous. One good example will be your steadily increased or steadily decreased question. Okay, or that 140 kilometers is there, this time 129 centimeters or some numerical has been given. Okay, or mandatory is there. Okay, so a similar way questions will be asked. Okay, and the program will cover questions from important sources. All these things will cover. Okay, PIB, UGC net websites and all, from where generally questions are asked. Okay, I hope everyone got my point here. Okay, so my, from our effort, I'll tell you, our effort is mostly focused on make sure that students actually get what exactly is prelims. Okay, without knowledge of prelims you should not actually just start reading. That is most important. What happens with first early this students and all, so they just start reading all the whatever available content is there. Okay, so don't do that, because some particular aspects are there for prelims. Understand those things and focus more on those aspects. Okay, and also learn this how to why statements are asked in a particular way. Definitely you have to learn that, and why examiner is giving questions in the similar way. Okay, only content will be different but the statement type of statements are same. Okay, if you learn that one, I'm telling you, definitely will improve marks. And this time, yes, most of the students actually applied and they were successful as well. Okay. And yeah, finally the promotion aspect. And if you want more details, just visit that visit our site l2a.in. Okay, l2a is our institute, learn to achieve. Okay, just visit that website, you will find the details. And if you are interested in this course, payment link also will be there in the website. Okay, the course fees is 6,500 inclusive of GST. Okay, so the total amount, the whole amount is 6,500. And once you have made payment now, just send a screenshot to info@l2a.in. Okay, old students already know this one, I guess. For new students, just note down this one. Okay, info@l2a.in. So 6 to, or if you have any doubt, you can call on this numbers. Okay, or take the screenshot of this page, yeah, if you want. Okay, so once you have paid them on, just send the screenshot to info@l2.in. Or if you don't understand anything also, just call these numbers. Okay, they will guide you. And if you have further doubts about this program, okay, because some students might have joined late, right? So if you have further doubts about this program, uh, just message me in Telegram in this number here. Okay, 7838 440 386. Okay, just message me in this. I'll just type this number in the chat. This is a Telegram number here. Okay, only Telegram will work on this. So just message me in Telegram if you have any further doubt, because few students have seen join late. Okay, if you have any further doubts about this program, you can directly ask me in Telegram. Okay, so now we will take some doubts if you have. Okay, you can type in the chat. Okay, and other students, yeah, if you don't have any doubt, yes, you can leave. Okay? And if students have any doubt, you can ask. Oh, okay, Preeti. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. I forgot the anthro class is also was there, no? Okay. Yeah, Preeti, you can just ask me in Telegram. I'll discuss with you. Okay. If you have any doubts about the program, no issue. Yes, Parma, the revision class will definitely be there. Okay. Last time we discussed certain revision class, right? In June also, this time also we'll discuss. Don't worry about that. Okay. See, until you write prelims, we'll help you. Okay. Last time also we took almost two revision classes, and timings of the class generally will be in the evening itself. Okay, after 8. Okay, if some students of anthropology are also joining, maybe we'll take only after that class. The class ends at 7:30, so mostly it will be at 8 p.m. And like for new students, for first 5 6 weeks now, every Sunday I will take the discussion. Okay, for new students, who don't know about the techniques, because I have to explain the techniques first. So for new students, every Sunday there will be techniques class. And for old students, the 30 questions I will discuss in every 2 weeks. Okay. uh, CK, message me in Telegram, CK. We'll discuss there. Okay. uh, Anaga, I came late. Yes, this is for paper one. This is for paper one. uh, yes, I know, CK. I know. So just message me in Telegram. Okay. So SY, we are not sure now here. Maybe we'll definitely start. Okay, but the schedule is not yet ready for that. Okay, so for now we are starting on November 30. Yeah, yes, Anaga, this is for basically for paper one itself. Okay, paper one itself. And if you have any other doubts, if you have missed some content, just ping me on Telegram. Okay, so this is my Telegram number: 7838440386. Okay, fine. I think some some students have joined just now, I guess. Okay. No issues that if students have missed some content, right? You just message me. Okay. If you feel that you do not understand about the program and all, we will discuss there. Okay. No issues. Yes, this class recording is also available. Like if I'll send the recording. Okay. This class recording is available and we will send it. Okay. Just message me if you whoever have missed the content. No? Just message me. I'll send the recording. Okay. No issues. Okay then, yeah. Okay. Have a great day and take care. Okay.